We don't think much about electricity until something goes wrong. One minute everything's fine, and the next thing your lights are flickering, your breaker keeps tripping, or an outlet suddenly stops working. Now, some of these things might just seem like minor annoyances, but they can actually be signs of bigger and more dangerous electrical issues. And let's be real, electricity isn't really something that you want to take risks with. Electrical problems cause over 51,000 home fires every year in the United States of America. This results in hundreds of deaths and millions of dollars of damage. So how do you know when it's time to call an electrician? Well, let's go through some of the most common warning signs and what they might mean. First up are flickering lights. What's the deal with that? You're sitting at home, you're minding your own business, and suddenly your lights start flickering. Maybe it happens when you turn on a big appliance like your microwave, or maybe it's just totally random. Well, either way, it's annoying, and it could also be a warning sign for you in your house. Sure, sometimes it's just a loose bulb that you got to tighten up, but if tightening the bulb doesn't fix the issue, you've probably got a problem with your wiring, or maybe you've got an overloaded circuit, or even a failing electrical panel. This is especially concerning whenever you got an older home and you've got outdated wiring, and that wiring is struggling to keep up with the modern power demands of your microwave or your washer and dryer. The average home today uses more than 30% more electricity than homes did in the 1960s. But many of the houses still have old wiring that wasn't designed to handle that kind of load. So if your lights are acting up regularly, don't ignore it, get an electrician to check it out. Also, if your circuit breaker keeps tripping, you've got to pay attention. We've all had to reset our tripped breaker at some point, and it's no big deal, right? But if it keeps happening over and over and over again, that is not normal. Your circuit breakers are designed to shut off the power when there's too much electricity flowing through them. It's a built-in safety measure that is there to prevent overheating and to prevent fires. But if yours keeps tripping, it can mean a lot of things. It can mean that your circuit is overloaded, or there's too many devices plugged in all at once on that one circuit. There could be a short somewhere, or your electrical panel could be outdated, or it could just be a failing electrical panel. So older homes in particular have 100 amp electrical panels, while most modern homes need at least 200 amps to handle today's appliances. If your panel is outdated, an electrician may recommend upgrading it to prevent ongoing breaker trips and a potential fire. So make sure you get it checked out. Another bad sign for your electricity are warm or dead outlets. If you ever touch an outlet and you realize that it's warm, well, that's not really supposed to happen. So a heat buildup usually means that there's a loose connection, could be faulty wiring, could be an overloaded circuit. All of these things are serious fire hazards. The U.S. Fire Administration reports that electrical malfunctions are one of the leading causes of home fires, with over $1.3 billion in damages every single year. So what about dead outlets? If one suddenly stops working, it could be something simple like a tripped breaker, but if you fix that breaker and you flip it back on, there's likely an issue with the wiring behind the walls, and that's when it's time to call a pro. If your home still has two-pronged outlets instead of three-pronged grounded ones, you might want to upgrade. Two-pronged outlets lack grounding protection, making them prone to electrical shocks and surges. So check that out. If your home's still using two prongs, get that upgraded. What about buzzing sounds? You know, electricity really is supposed to be silent. It's not supposed to buzz all the time. So if you ever hear buzzing or humming or crackling sounds coming from an outlet or from a switch or from your breaker panel, then that is a huge red flag. Those sounds often mean that there's loose wires somewhere, and when electricity jumps across gaps in the wiring, it can generate heat, and in some cases, that heat can lead to an electrical fire. So if you hear weird noises coming from your electrical system, do not ignore them. Get an electrician to check it out before it becomes a bigger problem in your house. Another thing to talk about is that power surges can absolutely wreck your electronics. If you've ever had your lights flicker for a second and then go back to normal, that's usually a power surge, and sometimes surges happen because of lightning or because of an issue with the power grid overall. But if you're dealing with frequent surges, there's probably something wrong in your house, like faulty wiring or a bad appliance or an overloaded circuit again. And here's the thing, frequent power surges can actually damage your electronics over time. If you've ever had a TV or a computer or a charger suddenly stop working, a power surge might have been the culprit. So what you can do is unplug your devices during storms. You can use high quality surge protectors. You can call an electrician if you get frequent surges, and they may recommend a whole home surge protector to keep your electronics safe. Okay, let's talk about something that I hope nobody ever has to deal with, but that is burning smells. If you smell something burning, you should shut off your power and call for help. This one's serious. If you have something that is burnt plastic or electrical wiring that you smell in your house, shut off that power and call your electrician. That smell usually means that something is overheating behind the walls, and if it's left unchecked, it could start a fire in your house. So if you notice scorch marks around an outlet or a switch, there's definitely something that has already overheated and needs to be fixed as soon as possible. So electrical issues can be super dangerous. Actually, I'm really scared of electricity. And in the worst cases, they can lead to fires, electrocution, major damage to your home. So when should you call an electrician? Well, when your breaker trips frequently or you have lots of power surges, if you hear buzzing sounds or you smell burning, if there's warm or discolored outlets, if there's flickering or dimming lights, or outlets that don't work, or outlets that spark when you plug something in, those are things that you need to call an electrician for. If something feels off, trust your gut. Call your electrician. It's better to catch a small problem before it turns into a big and expensive one than it is to just let things go. If you've noticed any of the issues that we've talked about, don't ignore them. Get an electrician to check things out, and that could save you a ton of money and potential danger in the long run. If you need more home maintenance tips, be sure to check out homemembership.com, like this video, and subscribe to Home Membership on YouTube so that you can get more expert advice and have peace of mind in your home. Also, if you're interested in a free home membership, make sure you check out homemembership.com and see what that's all about. I'll see you over there.